It's become a familiar sight. Royal Navy ships, in this case HMS Montrose and HMS Duncan, providing protection for merchant vessels travelling through the Strait of Hormuz. The US and many other allies do similar things. The reason, Iran, and their continued attempts to block the route, board ships and generally disrupt free trade. The US military say these pictures from May 2023 show around a dozen fast attack craft from the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps swarming the Panamanian oil tanker Niovi, trying to force the vessel into Iranian waters. Here, an Iranian naval ship approaches the MT Richmond Voyager and fires shots in the direction of the vessel. Now, suggestions reported in the US and UK press point to the potential of US troops travelling on commercial ships as a form of protection. But is that feasible or likely?
That would be quite a significant step. And for the moment, at least, I would remain somewhat skeptical that we will indeed see this potential of putting, US troops in harm's way. And what happens when Iran does approach a commercial ship that has US troops on board? That could really be a flashpoint for conflict.
This is all taking place at a pinch point between the Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman. Iran to the north, the Strait of Hormuz is in places just 21 nautical miles wide. But vitally, it carries 20 to 30% of the world's oil supply. It's one of the busiest shipping lanes there is, and any interference can cause disruption to the global economy. And Iran has certainly tried hard to cause that disruption. Here, in 2020, boarding the motor tanker Vila. That's why ships like Type 23 frigate HMS Montrose have been forward-based in the Gulf. Now the duty falling to HMS Lancaster, seen here refuelling at sea. Meanwhile, F-16s are refueled over the Strait of Hormuz as they maintain an aerial overwatch. And analysts believe they're having more to see as tension in the region grows.
From my perspective, we're in a moment of signaling. We're in a moment of the United States demonstrating that it does still take its commitment to maritime security in the Gulf very, very seriously. Iran has been signaling that it, is willing to show that it has leverage and wants to, and is not just willing to, that it wants to do something about the sanctions that it is under.
The Strait of Hormuz has been a place of tension, conflict and power play for decades. Other events often directing the amount of interference Iran inflicts on the trade route. Currently, the backdrop is ballistic. Sanctions against Iran supplying ballistic weapons to others are due to end in October. Western allies must decide if they'll push to retain them or risk Iran being able to supply large amounts of weapons to countries like Russia. Tim Cooper, Forces News. Thanks for watching. For more from Forces News, like and subscribe to our channel.